Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling a topic that honestly I feel like is dominating the headlines. AI.
It really is everywhere you look.
It feels like every day there's a new article about some AI breakthrough or some wild prediction about the future.
Right, like it's changing everything.
And you know what's interesting? It's not science fiction anymore.
Oh, totally. It's happening now, like right now.
Exactly. We're not talking about some distant future either.
No, this is happening like right now. This is about the next 3 years.
Yeah, your job, your life, it's all on the table.
It really feels like everything is up for grabs.
Luckily, you shared this book with me.
Oh, yeah?
The 3-year warning, what everyone needs to know about AI's next big leap. It literally just came out like last week.
Hot off the press.
So we're kind of diving in together, figuring out what this all means.
I am so ready for this deep dive.
Me too. So the book starts off talking about this next big leap. Is this just hype? I mean, we've heard it all before, right?
Right, but this time it does feel different.
Yeah, why is that?
I think, well, you know those old sci-fi movies about robots taking over the world?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It always seems so far-fetched. you know?
Yeah.
But this book argues that we're actually on the verge of AI becoming so powerful so quickly
Oh, wow.
that it really could reshape our reality, like fundamentally.
Okay, I'm already a little freaked out, but also kind of excited. But like, what does this actually mean for me? Will a robot steal my job tomorrow?
Well, maybe not tomorrow. But
Yeah.
the book goes into all that. It starts with a quick history lesson.
Oh,
It
yeah.
reminds us that AI has had these like boom and bust cycles, all this
Yeah.
hype and then disappointment.
I feel like self-driving cars were kind of the poster child for that.
Totally. Like
Yeah.
everyone was convinced we'd all be in self-driving cars by like 2020.
And here we are. So what makes this time different?
Well, I think the book argues that this time it's different for a few reasons.
Yeah.
One being that we're in the 21st century. We have all this computing power now.
That's true. Like the computers we have in our pockets are more powerful than like supercomputers from a few decades ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we are generating mountains of data every single day.
Oh my gosh.
And that is like the perfect recipe for AI. You know, it's like giving it all the ingredients it needs to actually take off.
So it's like the perfect storm.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the book mentions this term, deep learning.
yeah.
I feel like I've heard that thrown around a lot. What exactly does that mean?
So deep learning is this like revolutionary approach to AI.
Yeah.
And it's already all around us,
Yeah.
you know?
Really?
Yeah. Think about when you tag your friends in photos on social media.
Oh, yeah.
That's deep learning in action.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Basically, instead of programming AI with specific rules,
Okay.
we're teaching it to learn from data,
Yeah.
like massive amounts of data.
So it's like teaching a computer to think for itself almost.
Yeah. It's like it can see patterns and then make decisions.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
It is a little bit, yeah, but it's also super fascinating.
So AI is not just about robots becoming more efficient. It's about them becoming more like intelligent, like us.
Right. It's almost like they're developing their own kind of intelligence.
Okay, now hold on, because this is where I think the book throws in another curveball. Quantum computing. Is this something we should even be talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Because it is on the horizon.
So it's not just science fiction.
Nope, they're actually building these things.
Okay, so what does that mean for AI? Like, how does quantum computing change things?
So imagine giving AI this like massive turbo boost.
Mm-hmm.
That's what quantum computing could do.
Whoa.
Like it could completely revolutionize what AI is capable of.
So AI is already getting smarter, and now with quantum computing, it's going to be even faster.
And capable of doing things we can't even imagine right now.
Yeah, like what? Give me an example. The book uses this term automation cliff to describe what's coming in 2025. That sounds pretty intense. What does that even mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so the automation cliff is this point where AI becomes so capable that it starts to automate jobs on a massive scale, like jobs that we thought were safe.
Okay, so like robots taking over, but for real this time.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The book gives this example of an architecture firm in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
They used AI to design a skyscraper
Whoa.
in hours,
Like
something
what?
that would take in months
Yeah,
before.
that's insane.
Yeah, and that's just one example. The book argues that this is going to happen across industries.
So if AI can design skyscrapers in hours, what jobs are left for us humans? Like, seriously.
It's a good question, and it's one that the book really forces us to confront.
Mhm.
Like it's not about just learning one specific skill
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay.
It's
Got it.
about thinking about the skills that AI can't replicate.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Things like creativity, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving.
So, like being able to think outside the box, connect with people on a human level.
Exactly. Those are the skills that are going to be in high demand because those are the things that AI just can't do.
And it's funny because those are the skills that we don't always prioritize, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Like in education, we often focus on like rote memorization and technical skills.
Yeah, yeah.
But those are the things that are actually easy to automate.
So the book is basically saying we need to rethink how we educate ourselves and our kids, right?
Absolutely. It's about lifelong learning. We need to be constantly updating our skills.
So it's not about what you know now, it's about your ability to learn and adapt.
Exactly. And that's true for businesses too.
Oh, yeah, totally. So this isn't just advice for individuals, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Businesses need to be just as adaptable as individuals.
Yeah.
They need to be investing in their employees, retraining them.
Right, so that they're prepared for this new world of work.
Exactly. And, the book argues that the companies that embrace this, the ones that invest in their people and are willing to adapt,
Yeah.
they're the ones who are going to thrive.
So it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving in this new landscape.
It's an opportunity too. Like we're not just talking about doom and gloom here.
It's kind of exciting, right? In a terrifying way.
Exactly. It's like a terrifyingly exciting time to be alive, like a wake-up call for all of us.
Okay, but we're just getting started. 2026, the book calls The Rise of the Robots. Wait, so it's not just about AI getting smarter, it's about actual physical robots entering our lives.
Yep, get ready because it's coming.
Okay, this is where things start to get really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, how does this impact the way we work?
So the book talks about this idea of collaboration between humans and robots.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be about us versus them,
Yeah.
It's going to be about us working together.
So we need people who can build and maintain these robots.
Yeah, for sure. Like all those technical skills.
But we also need people who can work alongside them, right?
Absolutely. Like people who can manage teams that include both humans and robots.
Oh, interesting. That's a whole new skill set.
Totally. It raises a lot of questions too,
Yeah, like what happens when robots are making decisions that impact our lives?
Exactly. Like who's responsible if something goes wrong?
Oh man, those are some heavy questions.
Yeah, it's getting deep.
But the book goes even further. It claims that 2027 will bring the arrival of superintelligence. Okay, this is where I need you to explain things like, I'm 5 years old because my brain is starting to melt a little.
Okay, so imagine an AI that's smarter than any human.
Hmm.
That's superintelligence.
Okay, so it's not just about AI being as smart as us. It's about them surpassing us.
Yeah, it's like a whole other level of intelligence that we can barely even comprehend.
Okay, so give me some examples. Like, what could a superintelligence actually do?
Imagine an AI that could solve complex scientific problems,
Okay, yeah.
like cure diseases,
Yeah.
tackle climate change,
Whoa.
or even like compose symphonies that are better than Beethoven.
Okay, that's where it gets a little scary.
Right, because it's like, if they can do all that, what can't they do?
Right, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, and the book talks about both the amazing potential of superintelligence
Okay.
and the very real risks.
Okay, so what are the risks?
Like, what if it disrupts our entire economic system
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
or creates new forms of inequality that we can't even imagine right now?
So it's not just about the technology itself.
No.
It's about how we use it.
Exactly. It's about making sure that AI aligns with our values and that it benefits humanity.
Okay, so how do we do that? I mean, this all sounds pretty overwhelming.
Well, the book says we need to start thinking about the ethics of AI now, not later. Like, we need to have these conversations before it's too late.
I completely agree, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation today. But this is a lot to process. I feel like we need a whole other deep dive just to unpack superintelligence alone.
Probably. But I think this is a good starting point. It's like laying the groundwork for everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, so stay tuned, everyone. We're just getting started.
That's right.
Welcome back to the deep dive. I feel like my brain is still processing everything we talked about in part 1.
I know, right? It's a lot.
AI taking over the world, robots getting smarter every day, superintelligence, like it's mind-blowing.
It is. But remember, the point of this deep dive isn't to freak everyone out.
Right. It's about understanding what's coming so we can be prepared.
Exactly. It's about moving from like anxiety to readiness.
I like that. So let's talk about what we can actually do about all this. The book spends a good chunk of time on this idea of personal preparedness.
Right, like what can we do as individuals to get ready for this AI revolution?
Exactly. Should we all be running out to learn how to code?
Well, coding is definitely a valuable skill, but the book's advice goes deeper than that. It's about cultivating this mindset of like lifelong learning.
Okay, I hear that a lot these days, lifelong learning, but what does it actually mean?
Well, think about it. The skills that are in high demand today might be totally obsolete in a few
Oh
years.
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Like, who even uses floppy disks anymore?
exactly. So the key is to be adaptable, to be a constant learner.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we even know what skills to learn? Like, the tech landscape changes so fast, it's like, what's hot today might be old news tomorrow.
Right, it's tough to keep up. But instead of trying to chase the latest trends, the book emphasizes what they call transferable skills.
Transferable skills. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So think about things like creativity, problem solving, critical thinking. These are skills that will always be valuable, no matter what new technologies emerge.
So it's about being able to think critically, adapt to new situations, and solve problems creatively. These are all like uniquely human skills, right?
Exactly, the stuff that AI can't replicate, at least not yet.
Okay, that makes sense. But I'm a very practical person.
Yeah.
So give me some concrete examples. Like, how can we actually develop these skills?
Well, the book talks about the importance of what they call AI literacy.
AI literacy, what is that?
It's about understanding the basics of how AI works, what it's good at, what it's not good at.
So it's like being an informed consumer of AI.
Exactly, like knowing enough to ask the right questions and not just be intimidated by the technology.
That makes a lot of sense, especially since it seems like AI is becoming more and more integrated into our lives.
Right, like it's everywhere, and it's only going to become more pervasive.
So we need to be savvy about it.
Hmm.
Okay, so lifelong learning and AI literacy are key for individuals. But what about businesses? How can they prepare for this AI revolution?
Well, the book really emphasizes the importance of innovation.
Yeah, innovation seems to be the buzzword these days. But what does that actually look like in the context of AI?
It's not just about adopting new technologies. It's about fostering a culture of creativity, experimentation, and collaboration.
So it's about being open to new ideas, not being afraid to try new things, and working together to find solutions.
Exactly. The book actually gives a really cool example of this manufacturing company.
Okay, tell me about it.
So this company was struggling to keep up with demand. They knew they needed to do something, but instead of just automating their existing processes, they took a step back and they reimagined their entire production line using AI-powered robots.
Whoa, that's a bold move.
It was, but it paid off. They were able to increase efficiency, reduce waste, and create a more flexible and adaptable workforce.
So it's a great example of how AI can be this catalyst for positive change.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not about AI versus humans. It's about how we can use AI to make things better.
But it also highlights the importance of leadership, right? Like,
Yeah.
leaders need to have the vision to see the potential of AI and the courage to actually invest in it.
Totally. And just as importantly, they need to create a culture where their employees feel empowered to experiment and innovate.
That's so important. It's about creating an environment where people aren't afraid to fail, where they feel supported to try new things and learn from their mistakes.
Right, because that's how real innovation happens.
This is all making a lot of sense, but there's one piece of the puzzle that I feel like we haven't really talked about yet. Ethics.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
As AI becomes more powerful and more integrated into our lives, how do we make sure that it's used responsibly?
That is the million-dollar question.
Mm.
And the book definitely doesn't shy away from the ethical challenges posed by AI.
So what are some of those challenges?
Well, one of the biggest is bias. You know, AI systems are trained on data. And that data is biased, then the AI system will be biased too.
Right, garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly. And that can have some really serious consequences, especially if those biased AI systems are being used to make decisions about things like hiring, lending, or even criminal justice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a scary thought. So what can we do about it?
Well, the book emphasizes the need for clear guidelines and regulations around the development and use of AI.
Okay, so we need some rules of the road to make sure AI is used ethically.
Exactly. And those rules need to be developed collaboratively.
So it's not just about governments imposing top-down regulations.
Right. It needs to be a conversation that involves everyone. Governments, businesses, researchers, ethicists, and even the public.
It's about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly. We want to encourage the development of AI technologies that can benefit humanity, but we also need to make sure that they're used ethically. and that we have safeguards in place to prevent unintended consequences.
It's a tall order, but it's a necessary one.
Absolutely.
This conversation has given me a lot to think about, both in terms of my own personal preparedness and the bigger societal implications of
And
AI.
two, it's
And
like this is a huge topic, and we're just scratching the surface here.
yeah, there's so much more to explore, but I think this is a good foundation.
Yeah, and in part 3, we're going to delve even deeper into some of these societal implications.
Okay, like what?
We'll be talking about the future of work, the challenges of regulation, and the importance of global cooperation in shaping the AI landscape.
It sounds like a fascinating conversation. I can't wait.
Me neither. It's going to be good.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It's the final part of our AI trilogy. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a wild ride.
I know, right? There's a lot to take in.
Yeah. We've talked about the automation cliff, the rise of the robot superintelligence. Like, it's mind-blowing stuff.
And today we're going to zoom out even further.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to look at the big picture,
Yeah.
the societal implications of all of this.
Okay, this is where things get really real.
It is. It's complex and, to be honest, a little bit daunting.
Now sugarcoating it, huh?
Nope. But the goal isn't to predict the future with 100% accuracy.
Okay, good. Because I don't think anyone can do that.
Right. It's more about, like, understanding the potential challenges and opportunities so we can make informed decisions.
So it's about being proactive, not reactive?
Exactly. We want to be ahead of the curve, not just reacting to whatever happens.
Okay, so let's start with what I think is one of the biggest anxieties surrounding AI, the future of work.
Yeah, everyone's worried about robots taking their jobs.
It's a valid concern, right? I mean, the book doesn't sugarcoat it. AI and automation are going to disrupt the job market.
For sure. But it's not as simple as, like, robots replacing humans.
Oh, okay. So it's more nuanced than that.
Way more nuanced. It's not just about blue-collar jobs being replaced by robots on factory floors.
So white-collar jobs are at risk, too.
Absolutely. Think about tasks that involve analyzing data processing information, even making predictions. These are all things that AI can often do faster and more accurately than humans.
Okay, so lawyers, accountants, financial analysts, even doctors could be impacted.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The book argues that this disruption doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can also create new opportunities.
Okay, I'm listening. How so?
Think about it this way. AI can automate all those routine tasks, freeing up humans to focus on higher-level work, the stuff that requires creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
So it's not about humans versus robots.
Right.
It's about humans and robots working together.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that the skills that will be most valuable in an AI-driven world are those uniquely human qualities, the things that AI can't replicate.
Okay, I like that. It's a more optimistic way of looking at it. But what about the people whose jobs are displaced? Like, how do we support them during this transition?
The book emphasizes retraining and upskilling programs.
Oh, yeah, making sure people have the skills they need to thrive in this new job market.
Exactly. It's about investing in education and training so people can adapt and stay ahead of the curve.
That makes sense. But what about the bigger economic picture? Like, if AI does lead to mass unemployment, how do we ensure that everyone has a fair shot at a decent living?
That's a huge question,
Uh,
and one that we need to be talking about now. The book suggests exploring new economic models, things like universal basic income.
Universal basic income, huh? That's a pretty radical idea. I mean, it's been talked about for a while, but it's never really gained much traction.
I know, it's controversial. But these are the kinds of conversations we need to be having. We need to be thinking outside the box, exploring all options, challenging our assumptions about how things should be.
Right, because the old ways of doing things might not work in this new AI-powered world.
Exactly. We need to be open to new ideas and new solutions.
Okay, so the future of work is definitely going to look different. But it's not just about jobs, right? AI raises all sorts of other societal challenges.
Oh, yeah, tons. One of the biggest being regulation.
Yeah, that's a big one. How do we ensure that AI is used responsibly and ethically?
Right. It's like we have this incredibly powerful technology, but we don't really have the rules of the road figured out yet.
It's like the Wild West of tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book makes the point that traditional regulatory frameworks might not be enough. Like, we need new approaches to keep up with the pace of AI development.
Okay, so what would those new approaches look like?
Well, the book suggests a multi-pronged approach.
Okay, break that down for me.
It's about collaboration between governments, industry experts, ethicists, and even the public.
So it's not just about the government coming in and saying, thou shalt not do this with AI.
No, it's more nuanced than that. It's about bringing everyone to the table to have a conversation about how we want to shape the future of AI.
That makes a lot of sense because it's going to impact all of us.
Right. It's about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility. We want to encourage the development of these amazing technologies,
Hmm.
but we also need to make sure that they're used ethically and that we have safeguards in place to prevent any unintended consequences.
Transparency is going to be key, right? Like we need to be able to understand how these AI systems work, how they're making decisions, what data they're using.
Absolutely. Transparency and accountability are crucial. We also need to be thinking about data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes.
Mm.
We need to be aware of the risks as well as the benefits.
All right, so it's a lot to consider, but I think ultimately it comes down to this. We need to be having these conversations now before it's too late. We need to be proactive in shaping the future of AI rather than just letting it happen to us.
Couldn't agree more. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about empowerment.
Oh, I like that.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape the future of AI, and that it's up to us to ensure that it's used for good.
That's a great message. And I think it's a perfect way to wrap up this deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground, but hopefully it's given everyone listening a better understanding of what's coming, the challenges, the opportunities, the sheer scale of this AI revolution.
It's definitely been eye-opening for me, and I hope it's inspired everyone listening to learn more, to stay informed, and to engage in the conversations that are shaping our future.
That's what it's all about, because ultimately the future of AI is up to us to decide
Hmm.
what kind of world do we want to create.
That's a great question to leave everyone with. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
Thanks for having me.
And keep those minds curious.